Another holiday and a whole bunch more ham to figure out what to do with. I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite sandwiches, and it's actually the sweet sister of the Croque Monsieur, and it's known as the Croque Madame. Incredibly easy to do. I'm going to do a few extra twists that differentiate it between the Croque Monsieur. You will love this sandwich. Now, obviously, you don't have to make this recipe with leftover ham. If you just happen to have ham in your refrigerator, you can of course make it. You can make it all year round. But for me, after every dang holiday, there's so much ham, it's like, dude, what am I gonna do with all of this? Well, this is a great option. But the first thing we need to do is knock out quite a bit of prep, starting with the classic bechamel sauce. I know I've made it before, but I'm gonna show you how to do it again. Here we go. We're going to start by slicing up a yellow onion. Of course, we just want to remove the ends from each of the onion. Once you've done that, go ahead and slice it in half. Take one of those halves and remove that outside peel. Now set it back down on your cutting board. Grab your French knife or even a small paring knife. We're just going to take a little slice in about a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch in. And next, we're going to grab one bay leaf and push it down right in that little slit that we made so that it holds its place. This is perfect. Now grab one clove and push it in right next to it. This is a little technique I learned in culinary school. It's going to help flavor up our bechamel. Now go over to your cooktop, and in a medium-sized pot, I've got some unsalted butter. What we want to do is completely melt this. The goal here is to make a roux to help thicken up the milk so we have a delicious thick bechamel sauce. At this point, I'm going to add in some all-purpose flour, grab that whisk back, and over low heat again, we're just going to whisk these until combined. What we want to do is make sure that it stays nice and light in color so it does not darken up our milk. Once it is whisked together and everything is combined, we're going to add in some whole milk. Now, the secret to activate this roux is actually by bringing it to a boil. So go ahead and crank the heat up to high. Make sure this thing is super hot. I'm going to add my whisk back in just really at the beginning to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom or the sides of that pot. And just to combine everything, make sure the roux is into the milk. You'll notice once it starts to boil that it becomes very thick, just like you see here. This is absolutely excellent. Now there's a little technique to know that it's at the right consistency, and it's called nappe. You coat the back of a spoon, and then you run your finger through the center. You see how the top part of the bechamel doesn't go through that little space that you rub your finger through into the bottom? This means the consistency is perfect. And then what we want to do at this point is add in all that flavor. So we're going to let that onion, bay leaf, and clove infused into the bechamel for about 15 or 20 minutes. We want to incorporate that goodness right into that sauce. It will really change the profile. It'll be absolutely delicious. And of course, I made extra. I always make extra sauce. One, it freezes great, or it goes amazing in lasagna bolognese, or perhaps you want to put it on nachos, like my chicken nacho recipe when I make that Mornay, that cheese sauce. It's actually a great foundation for macaroni and cheese sauce. So me, I always make extra. Of course, you can scale down. But this is also a great time because we can knock out some more prep, starting with some cheese. I like to use a good French cheese like Comte in this recipe. You can absolutely use Gruyere. Gruyere has a little bit more bite. It's a little bit saltier, a little bit stronger in flavor. I like sort of the subtleness of the Comte, but it's still incredibly creamy, and it's perfect for this recipe. And look, if you want to take some shortcuts, okay, and you don't want to spend the money on Comte or Gruyere, your next best bet is going to be a simple Swiss cheese. So after you've grated it, just go ahead and set it to the side. We've got a few more things to prep up. I've got a delicious country French style loaf of bread that I want to slice up. Now, you can slice this thin or thick. I kind of like the in-between thin and thick, like a nice Texas toast thickness, if you will. Maybe a little bit thinner than that. This way, I can have more sandwiches. Yay for me. Score, right? Once you have sliced it, you can eat the end piece too if you want. Go ahead and set it to the side. And now what I'm going to do is take out that leftover ham. This is sort of that quarter piece of the big ham that you have left over from all of the holidays. This, my friends, will be absolutely perfect in this recipe. And don't let these perfect little ham slices freak you out. If you've got big oblong shapes of cut ham from the holiday or pulled chunks of ham, whatever it is, you can absolutely use it. In fact, you can use sliced ham from the deli. Don't freak out, use what you have. Now what we're gonna do is Go ahead and go back over to that cooktop. We're going to take that bechamel right off. It looks absolutely fantastic. And at this point, grab some tongs, because what we want to do is we want to remove that little onion, bay leaf, and clove in there. Oh, and dang it, I lost part of the onion because I squeezed a little bit too hard. So sometimes, my friends, you got to go fishing to get that other piece out. No one wants to eat a huge chunk of onion. All right, got it. Now, grate in a little bit of nutmeg. If you don't have a whole nutmeg, you can absolutely use pre-ground. And then what we want to do is season it well with a little bit of sea salt and fresh cracked black pepper. Traditionally, maybe some ground white pepper just to help keep the sauce white. But since the nutmeg's dark, why not use black pepper? Totally fine with me. And now what we want to do is whisk this completely until combined and then set it to the side. Okay, so now that everything is done, I have to stop and warn you, it is going to move extremely fast. From the time we make the sandwich to heating it up in the oven to making the fried eggs, so just hold on, pay super close attention. Here we go. So in a very large frying pan over low heat, I'm going to add in a few teaspoons of unsalted butter. I'm going to grab 2 of those big slices of bread, and I'm going to put them right in the butter in the pan. The goal here is to just get them browned. Surely you've made grilled cheese. It's pretty dang similar to that. Next, before I get ready to flip it, I add in a few more teaspoons just to make sure that the other side that hasn't been cooked gets nice and brown. So I'm just going to flip it over. Yes, I know I use my hands. I've got some serious calluses in there for all the years I've been cooking. Now I'm going to add on some whole grain mustard. This is different than my Croque Monsieur recipe that used Dijon. I love whole grain mustard. Fantastic flavors. I use it in so much. Now at this point, we're going to stack it high with a whole bunch of sliced ham, my friends, as much as you want to put on there. We're now going to add on some of that creamy bechamel sauce. And then, of course, add on some grated Comte cheese. Spread it all over the top of the bechamel. Now grab the other end of the bread that's got the whole grain mustard on it. Put it right on top. Now, for a little bit more cheese, my friends, add on some more shredded to the top, about half the amount of what you put in the middle. We are going over to the broiler. I'm going to put it on low heat, a low broil, and putting it in the middle of the oven. Maybe it's going to take 3 to 4 minutes. In the meantime, though, we have to come back and move quick. What I'm going to do is crack 1 egg into a bowl, make sure there's no shells in there. Going right over to the cooktop over low heat, adding in some oil. This is a great opportunity to use extra confit oil, rendered bacon fat, or even butter, whatever you want to do here. Now I'm going to pour in the egg. I'm talking maybe 20 to 30 seconds on one side. I'm going to flip it over because I like that yolk to be nice and runny. Maybe 10 more seconds on that flip side. Go ahead and remove it from the heat and bring it over to the cutting board. And as you can see, the sandwich is finished. Oh my gosh. It looks amazing. It smells amazing. I mean, the cheese, it's perfectly crusted on the top from the broiler, melting off the sides. The bechamel sauce is hot. This sandwich, it's just incredible. I don't know what else to say. It's so dang good. And to all my Comies out there, all my chefs in training, just like I say every single week, you start understanding these fundamental cooking techniques and you start putting them into practice in every single thing that you do in the kitchen, whether it's grocery shopping, prepping, sauteing, searing, whatever it is, even cutting the vegetables, all of it's important. You put it into your everyday practice, you're going to get better and better. I promise you're going to be the best cook on the block and dang sure the best cook in the family. I can promise you that. And then you apply it to all the homemade food from scratch that we make. Everything's from scratch in here, my friends. It is just better. It's better than anything you get at the store, anything you get at the restaurants. You can do this, I promise you. But of course now, we're going to plate up in slow-mo. So to serve this Croque Madame in a very traditional way, I'm going to add a fried egg right to the top. The sandwich is pretty big. You could probably add 2, actually. And I'm going to season the egg with a little bit of salt and pepper because it never got it in the pan. And to me, this sandwich is in some need of greenery. So I'm going to add on some finely minced, fresh Italian flat leaf parsley. And then, of course, I'm going to slice it in half. I want all that delicious fatty yolk to run down. It's just going to make this sandwich so much more delicious. And once you sort of split it in half and push it forward, you can see how amazing this looks. And my, oh my friends, check out these beauties. This is like the most amazing grilled cheese sandwich of all time. No joke. If you don't want the egg on top, then go ahead and make that Croque Monsieur. You'll totally dig that. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, and definitely check out this video right here. I made it just for you, and I promise you will love it. We'll see you on there.